All right, back at it. Came down with a little bit of a bug last week. Wasn't very fun. Some of the stuff going around, but pushed through it. Business owner, not much else you can do. If you don't show up, things don't happen. So anyway, Jeremy here, Jeeps Unlimited, partsbreakers.com. I'm showing you something I normally don't show, and part of it is because it's one of our not so nice tubs, a tub that I wouldn't list to sell. Let's put it that way. We pride ourselves, and we've done it for 18 years on our beautiful rust-free tubs and frames. And this one doesn't fit that, representation of what we like to sell. So it actually does have some decent torque pockets on it, and that's really what I wanted to show you here. And this actually, because of this, it could be salvaged. I think these are the number one thing that when you're looking at a Jeep, if they're bad, they're going to make your life a lot more difficult. Replacing a floor pan is pretty easy in a Wrangler, with some of the aftermarket stuff they have out there, or if you want OEM, you can call us. We don't normally cut tubs, but in cases like this, we would. And the one thing that people usually don't like to replace is torque pockets, because there's a fair amount of requirement to do them. They're first off, they're boxed in areas, and I'm going to get up close here in just a second. They're boxed in areas. They're lapped, the sheet metal. They're spot welded, and they're not just spot welded a few times. They're in a given pocket could have 40 spot welds on it. So they're extremely difficult to cut out. And when you do cut them out, because they are, like I said, lapped into the other pieces, floor pans and whatnot, you end up damaging other pieces doing it. So you almost have to get the replacement, almost has to be, if you're going to go after a torque pocket, has to be that whole section. And the aftermarket companies that sell the floor pans don't give you the bottom structure boxes, or torque pockets as we call them. So let's get up close and personal with this guy. This is actually for a customer that's looking at doing the rear torque pocket, either building something or we cut this one out and sell them this one. The rear torque pocket. So first off, let me go over real quickly how many bolt through frame to tub you're going to have on a given body. Okay, so you got 2 in the rear, 1, 2. These are your rear corners to your frame. You have 2 above your fuel tank, so you can't see those. And then you have 1, 2, 3. So you have 6 here and 4 back here. So you have a total of 10 on the tub, and you have 1 at the front for your radiator support, otherwise known as your grill. And these are really hard to tell if they're bad just looking at a Jeep, because they're you got a sandwiched bushing or body mount. Big rubber bushing. There's 2 of them, and they sandwich together, and then the bolt goes through them, and then so unless you're pulling them, it's really difficult to see. If you're in a Rust Belt area, anything basically east of Colorado, or you're in an area they use salt, more than likely you're gonna have this as an issue, and you're not gonna be able to see it until you get the Jeep home. So just be cautious of that. If you see other tall tale signs of rust, like this tub, for example, usually this would indicate that I'm going to be messing with torque pockets. Ironically, this is actually the rust that it has is both sides, and it's completely blown out, both of these corners here and here. And so I would have expected to see bad torque pockets, but the torque pockets on this one are actually not bad at all. And surprisingly, none of the bolts broke, which even on a clean tub, bolts will break on these guys. So that probably had more to do with the technician that pulled them, just taking his time, using the tools that we have, heat we have, will go a long ways. But your front one here is the easiest one to repair, and that's because you can get into it from both sides. So it's got a welded nut on the back side. It's not a boxed in area. It's you can see as I'm pushing dirt through the hole. So if that one breaks or is giving you issues, that one's easy to do. And if it's blown out the whole area, you can see right here, it's just you're replacing, this is rubber here. So this guy, obviously, let's see if I can pull this guy. Well, no, one-handed, not gonna happen. Anyway, pull that off and you'd see this is just a piece of sheet metal. Okay, this guy here is one of the more difficult ones to do. And when I see people repair this, oftentimes they'll cut into the bottom floor. There's a lip here. You can kind of see my finger poking around here. They'll cut into this area and they'll get access to that on the other side. And that is definitely a possibility if you don't mind cutting into it. And then these guys here, again, this is more of the difficult one. You can see all the spot welds that go down. This whole entire, if you were to do it right, you'd replace this whole section here. Your torque pocket itself or your bolt hole there is right here. So, all right. And then you have your rear ones here. Again, these aren't super, this is just basically C-channel. You could replace, potentially just cut this out, take the spot welds out, put, you know, measure out your distance and weld in a new piece of C-channel. That one would be fairly easy. And then these guys here, I've seen when people, so the question, the customer in question on this particular one has nothing left. Like I've seen a photo and there is literally nothing here. So if that's in your case, then realistically you either build a box in area, weld it in, or you'd call us and buy this section. And if we have, again, a tub to cut, we could send you that potentially. If you're dealing with just broken bolts or can't get access to these, this is a pretty clean area to repair. You can cut into this area here. Again, it's a welded nut on the back side. You don't have to necessarily weld a nut. You can put a big washer. You can do it from the back side here. All this is hidden really, really well with your gas tank and stuff like that. So it depends on what you got left here, okay? And this particular customer, Daryl, I'm just showing you here, this is what you're looking at. I got some photos for you, but I also wanted to give you a nice, so you can see this is a good, I don't know, I'd have to get a tape, but probably 38, 40 inches or so. No, probably longer than that, maybe 48, maybe 46 or so inches all the way across. It's a completely boxed in area. It goes from here to here, and it does give the rear of the Jeep support. So without it, and that's one of the things I was going to tell you, whether you buy this from us or you build your own, you definitely want to get something in there because it gives you the support for this entire back rocker panel and your tailgate. And I had a Jeep come in not too long ago that it was missing. I couldn't figure out why it was so flimsy back here. I mean, you'd shut the tailgate and the whole back end of the Jeep would vibrate and swing, and, you know, just like there was nothing there. And then I got up in there and this whole piece was just like yours. It was completely rotted out. So you can kind of see how they form it there, and you could get pretty creative. They do a little bit of a skirting back here, which it's either here or there. If you want to put that back in there, it obviously does have a function of, it covers up some of the gaps that you have at the rear of the Jeep. But if you're running some sort of body lift or something or other, you probably could get away with not putting that in there. And you can see how they lap it. It's all, so if you were to buy something like this from us, we would be looking at cutting with a Sawzall. It's not going to be super clean, but we'll give you extra material and then you can clean it up yourself. But we'll be cutting from basically here and then down, so you get plenty. And then you can take, there's spot weld drill bits you can buy and clean those up and put it back into the way it was designed to if you'd like. On this side here, we'd be giving you, again, more than you probably need. We'd be cutting it up here and down and into this area and all the way down to that corner. And then you can take it and pull back the outer layer here and get that box cleaned up and re-weld it back in. So that's what you're looking at as far as you know, what we would send you. And again, if you're looking at this stuff as a customer out there, don't hesitate to call, but do understand that we rarely do cut up tubs. They have to be pretty bleak for us to do that, and every once in a while we do, so you definitely give us a holler. More importantly than anything, what we're really known for, like I said before, is our tubs and frames. And YJs, this is a YJ tub in particular, is exceptionally hard to get, because a lot of times they've been hard for a few years, but CJ7 guys buy these too. They're really easy to convert over to a CJ7, and dimensionally they're exactly the same. There's a couple small differences on them, but virtually they're the same tub. And they're extremely high in demand. Right at this moment, I have one grade B, and it's on that Jeep right there, okay? And it's got a little filler in the back, but it's a straight, clean, rust-free tub otherwise. And you can see we have 7 acres out here And that's what we're down to as far as good YJ tubs. Now, I do have 4 or 5 grade A YJ tubs that will be here in the next couple days. So if you're seeing this video, it's end of February 2023, and I'm heading out to the East Coast to make a big drop again, 30-foot gooseneck with a deck over. Probably 6 to 8 tubs going out on that trip, and about 16 frames. So if you need a frame, it's a good opportunity for you to save a little dough on freight costs, on crating, because we don't have to crate them if I deliver them. Plus, you don't have to deal with a freight company. That can sometimes be a headache. And you get, you know, the white glove service you give me. If you need anything else, we can throw those into the tubs, frames, stuff like that. We can work you out a package deal. Anything over $3,000 on 2 or more items, large items such as tubs, frames, front clips, you know, you name it, we can go over those options. You start saving incrementally discounts. They start at 10% and they go up from there. So definitely a good opportunity to get some fenders either for free or whatnot. Like I said, if you order 2 or more large items. So, okay, give us a shout and we'll get you taken care of. Again, I appreciate your time today. 303-666-9020. Check our website out. It's parts, P-A-R-T-S, breakers, breakers.com. You can also find us on our old website URL, which will redirect you. It's jeepsunlimited.net. And we look forward to helping you. Thank you.